Well, we might as well make use of being stuck under a tarp in the rain. Sun's, I wouldn't say the sun's down, but it sure feels like it, doesn't it?
I didn't put our sweatshirts on, so
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah. It's
About
first.
time.
Yeah, dust the cobwebs off my hoodie. No, I wanted to sit down and take a minute, since it's how we've got some time to kill, and talk about some of the encounters that we know about from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. I think Kingfisher is a underestimated habitat. Kingfisher to the north, you know, they got the Cimarron River right there going through town. There's Kingfisher Creek, and there's a lot of other creeks in there. There's Uncle John's Creek, and but when I talk about Kingfisher, I'm talking about Dover, maybe down the river onto Crescent, you know, over down towards Crescent, Cimarron City, that kind of stuff. And there's more activity there than what most people realize. You remember that story recently we had where that guy saw that one running out in the field? It was doing 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. Somebody else behind me pulled in.
Yeah.
But, you know, he wasn't just the only one that saw it. So that's
Dude,
kinda...
yeah. Chuck Slab, he called me up and he's like, "Hey, this guy reached out to me," and I went out there, and I was like really skeptical when I heard this 70 mile per hour statement, I guess you could say, and because that just seems very fantastic. Yeah. The funny thing is since I took that report, there's been other reports, not in Oklahoma, but around, where people report them running that fast. And so apparently this guy,
you know, and if you're going 70 miles an hour and you see something like that, you're probably going to slow down. And if it's kind of a ways from you, you know, yeah, and you know,
well,
you're not. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean,
going
even
that fast, but it could be going upwards to 50. You know, because you're going to slow down. Looking at
you're probably going to let off your gas by instinct. For those of you who are not up to speed with this, if you've watched some of our previous videos, you would know about it. But what happened is about a year ago, it was in the summertime, I got a phone call, and this guy had some kind of Bigfoot encounter west of Kingfisher on Highway 33. I'm not exactly sure about the exact location. It was probably 6-7 miles out there. And the guy was headed towards Kingfisher, middle of the day. He was driving, you know, eastbound, and he was doing 70 miles an hour. He looked to the north, which is his left, out the driver's side window, and he saw this very large creature that was all black, and it was running. He said it was about, you know, like 200 yards out. You know, and that may sound like a long range, but it's really not. He said that it looked like it was running funny. I don't remember what he meant by that. I mean, I wrote a lot of this stuff down at the time, but he said that the thing was, you know, just really hauling ass. And he looked down at his speedometer, and he was doing 70. He said the thing appeared to be pacing him, and he said that he just kept following it. And I guess it ran alongside him for a really long time. And then there was a house coming up at the corner, and it, in order to not run straight into this farmer's front yard, it veered off to the north, which would have been his left, further away from him. And that farmer lived on an intersection, so he pulled in to turn to go north so that he could get a better look at it. That's when he realized that there was another truck pulling in behind him. And I guess as he pulled in north, I guess he drove about a quarter of a mile north there, and he said that the thing was standing there out in the field, and it was standing up on its hind legs. It appeared to be looking at him. Looked at him for a minute or two, and I guess it took off and ran into a shelter belt, and they never saw it again. The two guys stopped on the road, got out. They were doing the whole, did you see that? Yeah, what did you see? You know, and they talked about it, and they were like, yeah, was this thing going as fast as, you know, and he's like, yeah, that thing was going 70, you know. So there was two guys there that both agreed that it was, you know, trucking right along at about 70 mile an hour. The guy the witness that I talked to said that the guy was an oil field pumper, but the guy told him his name, but he was so rattled he couldn't remember the guy's name, and he couldn't remember even what company the guy worked for. And which I don't blame him. When you see stuff like this, you know, you're not going to have 100% recall.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it'd be a shock.
Yeah, it would be a shock. He said the thing was bigger than a horse, and it was black. And he said that he could tell that it was a horse. He said it seemed to be running on all fours. And
there's special training that people have for investigating. You know, like even accident investigation. OSHA stuff. You know, do this, do that, follow these steps, these criteria. You know, and it takes, you know, there's a lot of training to really remember all the details. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, and even cops that are, you know, it's you're not going to have 100% retention. We're human. But anyway, so we've got that encounter. That encounter took place in close proximity to Kingfisher Creek. Many of you guys might know that there's been rumors of Bigfoots and monkeys running up and down Kingfisher Creek. I'm kind of speculating that the monkeys are juvenile Sasquatch. I mean, it's possible that there could be some escaped monkeys of some breed out there, but I've also heard stories of monkeys being spotted on top of the VFW out there by the cemetery. Always kind of wanted to go out and nose around the cemetery. Always thought that might be, you know how they say Sasquatch hang out around them. I don't know.
What the debilitating factor for us is that there's nothing like a WMA or a public land, anywhere to camp, you know.
Right.
And like to really do an investigation, we need to know somebody, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things we're wanting to, you know,
Yeah.
people to kind of get involved and contact us, so somebody could say, hey, you know, I live over here on this creek, and you know, come over here and.
Well, and we've got family land up on the north side of the Cimarron there between Dover and Crescent, but you know, it's to the best of my knowledge, we haven't had any activity on that farm since I was a kid, and even then, it's kind of questionable. I don't know that I had a massive amount of activity. I think there was a short period of time where there was some activity going on at our farm. But aside from the stuff that happened on our farm, you know, there's also a situation up north at Dover. You know, there's that river bridge, not the one on 81, but the one that's, you know, like a mile or two west of Dover. There's the new bridge, and then there's the old bridge. I heard a story that, you know, like 10 years ago, or maybe more now, there was two families out there fishing off the bridge in the daytime, had their kids with them, and they were just having a day out fishing or something, and I guess they spotted a Sasquatch out there. I really don't have a whole lot of details on that. If somebody knows something about that, I'd really like for you to call or get a hold of me and fill in the blanks, you know. We really don't know exactly when that happened, and we'd like a better description of, you know, what the thing looked like. Supposedly it was a daytime encounter. Chuck Slabs had an encounter kind of closer to Crescent on the north side of the river, where when he was working doing some type of pumping work, and he pulled up on a location and he saw one. That was a daytime sighting. And I guess it was just sitting there in the woods checking him out. He actually took some pictures of him, but you know, everybody wants.
Who's he with? Chuck Slabs?
Chuck, he's independent.
Okay.
He was the one that was doing the podcast Chasing the Beast years ago, and I think he kind of got out of it for a little while, but you don't ever really totally get out of it. But I know he quit doing his podcast for a little while, but I'm not exactly sure what he's doing right now. You never know, he might be just doing field research. I don't know. But anyway, I've heard stories when I was younger of, Bigfoots being spotted down there in that area in Kingfisher, down in that area that floods, when the Kingfisher Creek floods. That's always a good time. And I've heard that they come into those neighborhoods, go through the trash or whatnot. People have seen them. There's all these stories, and if you've heard of a story, you know of something, or maybe you can just fill in some of the blanks. We want that. This is what we're making these videos for. Hey, some light.
Not much.
I don't. It kind of, lights. Well, you kind of got to lean over it. It's getting dark on us, but we need y'all's help. Hit me up, me or Jeffy, the one, on Facebook Messenger. You can find us on the Facebook page. Hit us up on Messenger.
What about TikTok? You said you had something on TikTok.
I'm playing with TikTok. I got a few little videos on there, and I don't know that I'm going to have any serious content. Oh, I'm not even sure we have any serious content anyway, do you? I don't know. It's just a couple of guys sitting there shooting the shit, talking about Bigfoot. But anyway, we need y'all's help. So if you're from that area, or you know of some stuff that's going on in the Kingfisher, Dover, Crescent area, anywhere in there, reach out to us. Let us know what's going on, what you know.
And we don't ever give exact locations, and on stuff like this. There's been times where we've talked to people that are kind of on the down low about it, and we're not gonna. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna.
You can be completely anonymous. We understand problems with people trespassing. I've dealt with that before with my family's land. If you want your location to be anonymous, that's fine. If you want to be anonymous, that's fine. And bare minimum, if you don't even want any information at all about it being made public, you can tell us, and we'll document it and keep it to ourselves.
It just gives us more of a cluster and places to maybe see a pattern on where things are and what time of year. And
it's about the data,
because it's so important for here in Oklahoma, and especially northwest Oklahoma, to get as much data as you can, because there's not a lot happening, and we're not.
Well, I don't think it's so much that there's not a lot happening. I just think that not a lot of people are talking.
Yeah, and we don't. We just can't go all over the place all the time. We got to be really specific about where we go, because
that's right.
Things are expensive.
Oh yeah, we're not rolling in money, but we are looking for a sponsor. So we need some. If Bill Gates or what's his name? Hell, I'd even take Zuckerberg's money. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us in the dark. This is great. Maybe I'll go get my lantern.
See it.
Thanks.